Welcome to the LinkedIn Power Lab webinar. Today is 16th of December, and now we have a very special session, the last one for this year. It's number 40 actually, and I deliver this together with Shiv Shenoy, a global expert when it comes to authority. And I'm an expert on using LinkedIn for a personal brand, and Shiv can help us to get it even to the next level, and that's what I like. It is the fourth time to present this series now, not just by myself, but with an expert. So we had Natalie before, we had Camelia, uh, we had also um, Adriana last time about newsletters, and now we have Shiv. So welcome. I also put the timing on there. As you can see, it's 1:30 your time, currently in India, and we have 7 p.m. here in Sydney and in Melbourne. So let's get started for those who don't know me yet. My name is Gunnar. That's a Swedish name. I came from Switzerland about 8 years ago, and I'm one of those who love being active on LinkedIn and even writing not just content on social media or emails, but also when it comes to books. And here's my first self-published business book that you can see on there called Connect and Act. So that's what I'm doing there. Currently, I also work at Active Campaign, that is email automation, email marketing, and that's a great way of utilizing my expertise on LinkedIn and social selling combined with nurturing using email and automation. So that all fits very nicely together. So that's about myself. And now let's talk about Shiv. I hope the slide moves on. Yeah, it does.
Hi, good evening, all. My name is Shiv Shanai. Uh, I worked in IT for about 15 years, primarily with the startups, building their intellectual property, their software solutions. And then I had a burnout episode and decided to go on my own in 2013. So I started with my strong area, which is project management,
Mm.
selected a niche and decided to help people or project managers for a specific project management exam. And with no knowledge of business, started off, struggled a lot, and then chanced upon the idea of writing a book, which turned the tables for me. I was able to grow the business through that. And during the pandemic, towards the end of it, I started writing on LinkedIn, and that opened a completely new business, a couple of them, if I may say so, for me, purely based on sharing my stories and knowledge on LinkedIn. And now I help CXOs and experts become the go-to authority in their fields through primarily content. It could be writing a book or writing on LinkedIn and or writing a newsletter, blog posts, etc. Primarily content writing. And this year I turned also a publisher, so now I can
Mm.
take an idea to a worldwide distributing book. Um, and I also help solopreneurs build and scale their businesses. Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you.
There's a couple of things that we have in common, and some others. I admire the consistency in you building your brand as I observe you over the years. Really like that. And of course, where you came from, there are so many IT experts, and I strongly believe there's more like yourself who also would like to embrace that and to go to the next level towards becoming the go-to expert by themselves. So wonderful. I like that. So let's go on. So what I prepared for the agenda, and those who are with my webinars for a while, they know there's always three topics to it, and they often share the same letter. So I talk first about the topic of attraction when it comes to expertise and personal brand. I go then further into um, authority. Actually, you do this, Chief, because then you share your journey, how you help others to make that happen, how they become the authority by themselves. And then the last part is activity, how we can put this and show this, particularly on LinkedIn and other places, what we are doing, that we are perceived, because authority is not something that you talk about yourself. It is something that the audience gives you. And for this call, housekeeping, stay muted, use the chat for your question and comments. Keen to read that. We have question there as well. You will receive the slides afterwards, typically within 12 hours. I will upload the recording on my YouTube channel and the slides that come as an email, particular for those who registered and then also took the freedom to click on confirm that I can send them some emails. And watch out for something special at the end, because we both have something at the end as well. And just please remind me, I need to reveal why it's so special that you are here today. Got it. So let's get started. Attraction. Become known for your expertise and known in a way that it can stand there for a long time. Like what we see here, obviously, all these stones, we know images like that. We have a tiny group of these stones here in Sydney, actually, near the Botanical Garden. But I like to see Stonehenge and some other groups of that one, because it's standing there. Like expertise, you want to be known for a long period of time. So question is, and I ask you in the chat, what is your definition of a personal brand? What do you think belongs to that? Just go and open the chat window, and then please be so kind and write something. So that would be good. So what is your definition, or what belongs to a personal brand? Anyone, any idea? There's no right or wrong, because it's personal, different for everyone. Promises you make to your audience, Justin. Yes, and Justin, what you become known for. There's actually a famous saying, what you are known for when you're not in the room, what others talk about you when you're not in the room. So that's a good one. Others are talking about you when you are not in the room. That goes into that direction. Yeah, good one. So it's all about perception, right? And where's a better place than social media, which is all about perception by itself? Good one. So I looked into some elements of a personal brand to get started to the topic. In the meantime, yeah, but you wrote a color and mission statement which you use to identify yourself. That also belongs to it. That's no question on that one. And good that you also write color, because the brand also consists of colors. Typical example, as you just wrote this, well, a couple of weeks ago, you and I both attended an event with one lady, Therese Tarlington. Her book is in green, and she is normally wearing green always, wherever she goes. And if not, then it's a piece of red. And sometimes she plays with it, but typically it's green. So then there are some people which are known for a certain color. So that's an interesting one. So elements of a personal brand. So I put a couple of them, four of them actually. Behavior. It's a question how we show our values in a very recognizable way, how we apply that also in a certain consistent way, that we don't jump around but have consistency on it. Like I typically have colors around turquoise, so the mix between blue and gray that you can see even here a bit in the slides. And it's a question of the perception of being reliable that fits into the behavior. And also when it comes to difficulties, then in whom do we place our trust in difficult times? Then those where we know the personal brand beforehand. So that's important topic as well. Justin, you know that center. So then the next one here is also the image. It's more the image that others see of ourselves. That can be optical, what we are wearing, what I just mentioned in Terry's example, but also the online presence. So how we always show ourselves on that. So there are some who are using LinkedIn always in the same way. Like in the past, Justin Welch would always have text posts and nothing else. Others would always have image posts with certain colors. It's this recognizability that makes sense on that one. That also helps to connect with brains of others. And that is something what I like also about it, the whole image that you can say, who do you put around yourself? So it should somehow fit. It makes no sense when you run advertising I just wanted to say Jaguar, but they changed their brand recently. But let's say for Mercedes-Benz, but then you're wearing clothes which are not fitting into it. So it needs to connect properly, also when it comes to the people that you have around yourself. That's important topic as well in the brand, that it makes sense so that others feel that they would like to be part of the inner circle. That also belongs to that one. The third topic here that I have is a tone of voice. And of course, there are some people, particularly in this country here, who are not native English speakers, like myself, who always have a dialect or an accent. So that's part of it. What can we do? But on the other side, particularly the way of how we are speaking, think about you call someone and then you land on their voicemail. But the way how they then greet you in the tone of voice entices the caller maybe to leave a message or maybe rather not. So there's a couple of things to ideally you're joyful listening to. So you would like to have a crowd who likes to hear the tone of your voice. Nothing worse than having brilliant content, but not a way to get that message across in terms of the tone of voice. And that also is a question of the speeches that then when someone have think about people like Steve Jobs, who really managed that part extraordinarily well. Um, and not only this one, tone of voice for me also covers things like the amount of content you would like to convey, particularly in a verbal approach. So being crisp and keep it as simple and stupid as possible. So that fits into this one, into the brand. And also the last one is, of course, the key messaging itself. With a proper message, we can convey values and elements like the famous know, like, and trust factor that can be visible in your personal brand because you would like to provide a kind of belief and inspiration to others. And then when they see you online, on the website, when they read about you, then even the subconscious mind is has, let's say, it has a favorable opinion, preconceived of that brand, with a sincere wish to be part of that. Justin, you know that formulation. And then also there's a lifelong journey that comes with it because the messaging, you do not want to jump back and forth, but rather show this consistency. So these are a couple of things that are there as a personal brand, and then you can do something with it to elevate that further. Somebody said, no PowerPoint deck without having at least a pyramid on it. So this has two, this slide, and it's not even PowerPoint. I use Canva. Thanks to actually Natalie, you convinced me on that one a couple of months ago. So let me show you two pyramids. First one is the bias pyramid from a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine from the late Chet Holmes. I think he published it around 2010 or 29, so it's quite a while ago, but it still is as much valid as you can imagine. And it simply says, for anything that somebody would like to buy or sell, 3% of people are ready to buy now. 30%, they know that they are not interested. Simply happens. So that leaves us 2/3 of the whole, meaning 67%, who could be open to it. They might not think they're interested yet, but it can happen. So this means for these 67%, we do not need to create content based on buy me now. It's rather nurturing them. And that's the main thing. You need to get them into a repeatable machinery, be it email, be it social media. So that's very important because so many people make that wrong and they show a lot on LinkedIn or wherever that it says, buy me now. Of course, there's a Black Friday deal period, we know that, and after Christmas and whatever, but typically it's more about the know, like, and trust portion to it. And then the other pyramid, the funnel, the top part we call tofu in marketing, there's the top of the funnel. It's more the marketing approach because you would like to get many people into your funnel. The middle of the funnel is rather the sales process, and at the bottom of the funnel are the customers. And she will take this into the next level. So in terms of the content or the programs that you can create on this one, and it doesn't matter if you're a large company or if you're a solopreneur, there's typically a couple of things there. You see that the program at the bottom is maybe the most important, most expensive one, the most detailed service that you can provide. Think about something like the $2,000, $3,000 professional service arrangement, but that costs quite a bit. But you would not necessarily post about it and say, buy this even. But you want to rather like to get the expertise level down from the regular content that you have. Maybe turning this into an ebook. The ebook can become a freebie. like a lead magnet. And that turns into the blue part where I placed here a book, the best level of authority and credibility, even better than a course, which I placed below just because of price level. But it's a marketing funnel. And what you would like to do is to align these two pyramids together. So that's an important thing. And let me grab one example. That is Dennis. Dennis is from Canada. Dennis, like myself, we worked in IT at an IT company, and we both face something which we didn't like, never like, which is called layoff or corporate redundancy. Happened to me after 16 years, happened to Dennis after quite a while, many years as well. And then he, from there, became a solopreneur. First of services, later he wrote a book, he wrote newsletters and so on. The traditional, when we can call it traditional solopreneur type of journey. What he has done nicely, after kind of failing his first attempt of building a business, he wrote a book. And this book here is a parable. It is fiction. And it really tells the story, kind of like it happened to me as well in my layoff from an IT company. Well written, beautiful. And out of this one, he called himself then the accidental solopreneur because he didn't want that, but it just happened. So how would he be able to show this? So he has obviously a website, which looks rather simple, not so specially designed, but at least it has one good thing. It's converting. You see very clearly on the top part, subscribe button. Join 1,200 subscribers to read about most incredible, unexpected success stories. So he tells stories like KFC, where we know that Colonel Sanders only founded the company KFC in the retirement age. So it's never too late to create your own business. And a lot of other inventions that came into being just essentially, just by accident. And there's a lot of stories that he has on it, and that is his main trigger. I like that. And what he got from that is a perception of an authority in his space. There are others who help people to get in the transition from corporate into finding their own way. One person who does it very well is Natalie. Another person who does it very well is she. And here's another one. And everyone has their special angle. And I like how he then shows this on LinkedIn. Obviously, here you can see it used to be red like a website, but he just changed the colors a little bit. And LinkedIn, as we know, is the standard place where everything sits in the same place compared to a website. So that's a good part of it. And it's a kind of a content machine. And he's exactly that type of example where I've been looking up to, where he is showcasing this type of solopreneurship and authority level that he has. So that's why, based on this perception of this, of course, we never met in person, but based on that perception, I had the chance to hop on a Zoom with him, and then I read his book. I reviewed the book in my review series. It's a bit tricky when you do a corporate role and a side gig. So what I have that I play both, but at the end, it's a good idea to show this expertise to the audience on LinkedIn. So that's an important thing. Then, as I showed you, only 3% would like to buy now. So all the others, they need to get into nurturing sequence. So he has a newsletter called Happy Accident, where he tells all of the story that I mentioned quite nicely. And what he could do, and he hasn't done, is he could enhance even his audience into another medium, which is called Substack, but that's a writing platform. One day he might be there. So I started this earlier this year. That's a screenshot from last month. So then took the freedom of now writing even long form, short format, whatever it is, and you find completely different people there for your expertise. Because what do we want to have? If we want to showcase our authority, we need to have external voices who confirm that. And that's exactly what can happen here on Substack. But when I mention authority, what we need to do is to discover what we have in ourselves. And that often doesn't work just internally by yourself. So ideally, you have someone who can get us onto a journey. So question before I hand over to Shay into the audience. What is your specialty you want to be known for by your audience? Maybe something completely out of a surprise. For me, will be a children book author. That's a surprise. What do you want to be known for in that regard? Can be completely different than your 9 to 5 job. Any answer? Justin? Matthias? Anyone else? Davi? Leadership communication strategy. That is exactly a topic where this type of authority would play nicely because you would be able to have some piece of work that makes you stand out compared to other leadership experts. Or here, reflect, you say something in the counseling space is a good example. We'll look at the example later. So that's a good one. Anyone else that you would like to be known for? I Justin, motorcycle leader. Yeah, I know that you have been an instructor. Remember, I saw you in at full gear. That's a good one. I'm not sure if you are still there, but you're an energy healer in addition to yourself working in a hospital. So I think it goes more into that energy healing part as one example. Yeah, Reiki healer and how to use it with mood management and stress. Yeah, which of course the tricky thing is always we want to be known as something. If the terms tell something to someone, awesome. If not, then need to lead with the problem. But here you see, reflect, wonderful. You give a nice comment straight away there. So well done, well done. Thank you. Thank you for that, Steve. So yeah, it's a couple of answers. I like that. So that's an interesting one. And I think when we look back, Natalie, when you spent your time in corporate finance, you possibly you probably never thought about that you would become a business coach. So it can change over time. Good one. So handing over to Shiv to tell a little bit about the authority branding.
Thank you, Gunnar. Yeah, I mean, most of us are aware of the AIDA scale, AIDA, right? That's the 4 stages of customer behavior. So my experience in the last 10 or 11 years, where I witnessed a shift from my idea of personal branding to take it a notch further, to be seen as an authority, which I call it as an authority branding. Maybe I'll take a moment to explain that shift that I've seen. What I've realized over time is personal branding is where people know you for what you do. It could be an expertise, a skill in a niche. But authority branding is when people seek you to get help in that area. So that extra, that the notch additional thing that you add to the mix is what makes people come to you with offers, money, credit card, whatever, right? For bringing you the opportunities. That is the differentiation that I have experienced in the last 10, 11 years from being, building a personal brand to taking it a notch higher to what I call as authority branding. And it fits in also nicely if you try to map it to the AIDA model, where you start off with garnering attention or awareness to the skills that you bring to the table of your target audience. And from there, you build curiosity with information for them to see you as the person, known for some skill or some expertise. And then you convert that interest into desire by creating an emotional connection where they now will want to buy from you or will want to engage with you. That kind of a desire, you bring it. And then from there, you take them to the state where now they are ready to take action, which could be buying your offer. It could be signing up for your newsletter and supporting your content, sharing your content, and things like that. Now, if you try to map that with authority branding concept, so to garner attention or awareness, you create your distinct persona, your distinct identity in your niche. Uh, as part of that, you will also have some branding elements, like you define your voice, your visual elements, right? So that people, when they look at your profile, for example, they are very clear without any confusion what you stand for. And it sort of answers their question, what's in it for me, very clearly. From there, you shift the perception from being as somebody, who is good at what they do to somebody who can help you get there. So that perception shift starts as you start sharing your content. Um, and that's where you get them to be interested in what you have to offer. But then you take it a notch further where you start sharing an undeniable proof of your value. Now, that could be a combination of content and results. Now, content basically tells them that, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, and proof of your own success and the success of people that you have helped, right? That shares that, yes, this person can get me to where I want to be. So that undeniable proof is that delta where people
Yeah.
go from knowing about you to seeking you. And then the next step would be to get them to take action, which could be reaching out to you. And you basically um, engineer this journey very, very intentionally on the platforms that you use this for. So, Gunnar, if you can go to the next slide,
I will.
where I try and see how we can map this to actions, like how we
Good.
can bring each of these elements to work as a cohesive unit. So when you start off on the attention part or awareness part, where you're building your persona, what it really means is to be noticed as a person with clear and distinct identity, as we say. And then how it maps is, like we said, your unique voice, niche, your positioning on LinkedIn, profile is a great place to very visually present your positioning. And the quick question we need to ask ourselves is, why should people stop scrolling for you, right? That's where the LinkedIn photo, the background banner, the heading, the tagline, and about me, all those elements of the profile come into play. So people, when land on your profile, they know exactly what to do, who do you do it for, and how do you do it. Then when you get to the interest part, top left corner, is when you move from being interesting to being influential through your messaging, your thought leadership content, and your personal story, because people connect with stories, people connect with other people. Um, so bringing that personal element is very essential. And the key question we ask here is, why should people pay attention to what I have to say? So now here is where we talk about, creating content pillars, content matrix, calendar, all of that, to start promoting or share sharing your knowledge and
Yeah.
your information. From there, as you go to the desire state, or you try to move them, engineering your journey, you try to move them to the desire state, is where you show your undeniable proof. So it's a shift in their mind from I like them or I like you to I need you. And this is where you share your educational content, your framework, your testimonials, your results, your case studies, and things like that. Where the key question being answered is, why should people trust you to deliver results? And this is undeniably done as you start sharing the results of yourself and people that you're helping with, success stories and lessons learned and client stories, things like that. Now you are at that level in their mind where they now want to engage with you, right? Bring you offers or bring you opportunities. Now, this could be anything. If you are building a business, it could be getting leads or customers. If you are a CXO, it could be attracting people to come and top talent to come and work for you. Or if you are a startup CEO, it could be getting funding, any of these, right? The objectives that you have for yourself. And this is, like I said, a combination of proof and persona and the branding and the results. So this answers the question, why should people choose you over anybody else? And the whole journey basically is very intentionally
Mm.
engineered for you to be seen as an authority in your field. Does it make sense, Gunnar?
Absolutely. I think the intention in it is so much different compared to just starting out, just writing something and see how the flow goes. So that intention makes a difference, so that people really seek you, that they want your advice, that they reach out for that. And that is also how the inbound um, will work, so that then as an authority, you will receive something.
Yeah.
So that is so important, that you get like invitations to podcasts, invitations to book collaborations, invitation to speak at big audiences. It comes by putting this intentionally beforehand. Yeah. Good. Next one is the number 4, right? That number 4 is where everything comes nicely together. Well done. Thank you. Any question, anyone on these 4 topics? From anyone? In my personal observation, I learned about AIDA, which as you know is 100 years old, but this way of putting the foundation in place towards an authority, I have never seen it that way. And I must thank you for that one. Very good.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Gunnar.
Steve. So Natalie asked, which phase did you find the hardest from all of those 4 for you as being perceived in your authority?
Yeah, for me, the hardest stage has been garnering attention and converting that into interest. Because for me, that's where your progress sort of goes as a hockey curve. Because for the longest period, it seems like nothing is happening, nothing is working. But if you stay consistent, then at some point of time, you'll start seeing an upward tick. And uh, once that happens, then you already have your success stories to share. And in
Mm.
the background, you would also be right from the beginning working with people to help them bring results. And when you reach this stage, you also have their results to share. And then it starts to get easier. So sticking initially is where it feels hardest, but is most essential to keep continuing on that part.
Yeah, in my observation, I looked at a couple of other content creators. One of them is called Ryan Musselman. Um, he created yellow. He used yellow as a brand color. He was a content creator in corporate life, and then he pivoted twice, at least over the last 2, 3 years, in terms of his solopreneurship, because he would get, in terms of attention to interest, different type of people, and took him a while until he found his real target audience where he knows he can help them best. And then he shifted so that the attention and interest movement attracted those people he wanted to have. So that is important point. So it is possible to change a little bit. It takes a while, but then you can be even more specific to ensure that you get the right level of people coming on there. So that is good. I think Steve, you just sent something maybe only to myself or to all of the others. So that's an interesting way to see that as well in terms of the knowledge and perception, because there's a lot about perception in the whole topic in there. And the better we can address the value that we have, the better it goes. I really like how you put everything here under one slide only, So that's very good. So, and Natalie, you confirmed that, and I know you went to the whole thing by yourself. But imagine we build this type of authority level with more intention to it, and then we would like to showcase this. And of course, we all humble people. We do not want to brag about it and say we are now that big expert on whatever. I struggle by myself if somebody asks me how many books did I publish, because it feels like bragging to say there are just 27, but I started earlier, so it just happened. So what can I say? Um, but yeah, so how can we put this with regular action, particularly on LinkedIn? Let me try. I put a couple of screenshots how it can look like. But before we do this, sorry, before we do this, when is the last time you updated your LinkedIn profile? Quick checkpoint to everyone. When is the last time you updated your LinkedIn profile? From anyone? When was it? A month or more, Justin? Last week, she. Yeah, actually, I realized this because there's one thing. When you know someone after a while and observe what they do, and then, like Dennis in the example, put the blue background where it used to be white and red, then you actually sometimes you realize this. So I went in November, myself, anyone else? Many keep it for a while and then always wonder, yeah, that's what I do for audit. And whoever wants to have another pair of eyes to look into it, I'm happy to act for that one. Okay, so that's just about the profile, but the profile is not just checking that you have a new job or something like this, but there are a couple of places. Let me introduce a couple of them. So first one is a premium custom button. You see this on my screenshot here, rounded, where it's written "View my newsletter." It might look a little bit different when you look at from in the view of other people. But at least it should be a button, a clear button which says view my newsletter. There are more options for that. It's only the premium profile has this button. But the big advantage is this one. When you can see there's three examples. Sheep, your button says book an appointment. But that is your way how you can grab people and find out if you can help them. For Justin Michael, who is publishing a new book coming out in January, he has View My Website. Good one. And for Matt Benzinger, there he has also View My Newsletter. And that's why I got that one as an example. I like that. Only for premium, but the point is that the text of this appears in all direct messages, and that makes it quite appealing, like a call to action. I like it. I think even it translates well, but you cannot write your own text in it. So the way how you do it, you go on the top part of LinkedIn, changing the profile, and then there is this point called custom button. You would click on premium custom button, and whereas in my case written view my newsletter, you can open this like view my portfolio or what an artist do I would do as well. Visit my store are more those which have something more, let's say, with e-commerce. So it's 6 options. The alternative to this one is here what Adriana has. She has the link on the website, and you can take the sentence or the words, whatever she wants. She called it Wiki Strategy Advice for $0. And there's a little icon which says it goes then away. So meaning if you're on the app, it opens the browser on the mobile. If you're on the desktop, it opens in a new tab. That's the other alternative to do, which doesn't require premium. And you can call it whatever you like. Just don't call it www.lead.managebook.com. That looks like obviously like a URL, but it's wasting the chance of giving it address of a call to action. Especially when we talk about authority, we should be able to showcase how it should look like. It's in the same place, just to place it as link. You type the link and type the link text, and that exactly is how she has done that. And there's then another way where we can place our authority level, and that is a featured section. So Sheep, I just grabbed this from your side. There are people who have in the featured section their maybe most popular or most interesting post, like me. Um, like you have here on the right-hand side, you see many likes and comments. But that's good, that's relevant. But I like better the links that you have. You place links in there, and the links try to grab an image, in this case, the same one, from your website, which is basically your booking link to get one-on-one coaching. It is the book publishing formula, your program. And that is great because the featured section, when you scroll down, there's visibly typically three elements on desktop, one on mobile, and they can be scrolled through like a carousel. That is a good place to show authority. Good one, I like that. You don't want to brag about it, but when the image also tells a bit of a story, it actually is a nice one. And then, of course, post. So please ignore the word announcement. That was from last time. Copy and paste, but I rather wanted to show here post, post where the audience some kind of expertise. Not to say he's the best who can help people to write a book, not at all. But he gives great advice for the topic. You see, it's something you can read even on the mobile. It works. Authority branding. You see the words loud and clear. At the bottom, you even have his image and a LinkedIn top voice. Great, by the way, that you are LinkedIn top voice. You too, Natalie. Me not, but so what? And then at the bottom, it's very clear when you only grab this piece and take a screenshot and have in your collection of photos, it's always clear to see where it comes from. I like this way of having similar keywords around your journey that you have. Let me click another one. This one here, how to write your book. Sounds like an easy thing for some, for others not at all. You call it the easy way. And I like this as well. And you can see even the engagement and comment on it or repost the comments. They're really what help you to figure out to contact. And Chief, question to you without preparing for that. When you gain these comments, do you engage with those people one-on-one? Do you talk to them?
I don't talk to everyone, but I try to talk to people who have like asked a question or put a comment which is relevant in terms of that topic. Then I try and reach out and see if they need something I can help with. It's not a sales pitch. It's purely from a perspective of trying to see if they need something that I can provide in terms of content or sharing my thoughts. And then it's my way of building relationship and expanding my network.
And exactly that's how you and I started to talk together a while ago. Because while I'm not your client, I published books already beforehand, but we have some kind of a similar journey and engage on each other content, and I really enjoy the collaboration. So that's a good one. And then the other thing what you do well is the third post, which actually is a carousel, so that it has whatever number of maybe 20 pages. And what you do well at the end, the last one, thank you for reading. The tablets. And you don't say, particularly as it doesn't have that many words, it has your colors, and that it really shows you as the human behind to make that possible. Are you ready? Publish a book, earn massive authority in your field. Need help? Let's talk. I like how you even put the words that let's talk is shorter than need help, that it fits into the rounded image. So well done. And that is even a post where the post has content. You see there's written ... more. And then it has a carousel. So it does two things at the same time. 100 5 people plus myself like it, 101 comments. Well done. Whoever said LinkedIn engagement goes down, I would rather say you don't need that many impressions to get the same level of likes and comments and more relevant one. Well done. How often do you post these type of topics as an authority in your field?
Um, I started off posting every single day um, back in January 2022. Um, did that for about 650 plus days every single day. Then
Wow.
I took a break. I was unwell for a couple of days and sort of became a week-long break. So after that, I've been posting around 5 to 6 times a week. Um, yeah, around 5 to 6 times a week.
It's nearly every day. Yeah, don't overdo because otherwise we get into burnout. Yeah, I think I also will hit my 300 days for sure this year. And Natalie, you're also an expert on that. Yeah, so good. I like that. I like that. So then let's summarize what we heard so far. So I put it like how to use LinkedIn to showcase your authority, which only works when we build authority first. But it's currently not the fastest machine, so I hope it's coming shortly. Where I thought the three elements that we had, it could summarize this nicely. Attraction, authority, that was too fast. Sorry for that, Jay. There's an update to come on the machine with the next MacBook Air release, but I need to wait until March. And the back button, of course, goes now a couple of times. So while I'm doing this, and I try to scroll back, let me see how fast that actually does. It's strange when then at the end of the webinar, the machine believes that it's a good time to close down, but I hope it now captures the summary. So we talked about attraction, authority, and activity, those levels, where in the middle, the AIDA model of a personal brand really gets towards the authority level. And then I picked 3 words from yourself, content on one side, trust, but also choice. And this slide that you had, where all 4 elements come together, I think that was very, very insightful. And I will show this in the email that I will send then out for everyone. So content makes a lot of sense in the whole topic, and LinkedIn is platform to do this, but you need to showcase in a way that people can recognize easily who you are, what you're doing, and how to bring the whole topic together. And that's a good one. I actually wrote about something like this in my book, Connect and Act as well. But before that, let's go. Now we have it. So now, as we are in December, there's so many people who would like to plan. It's a bit more quiet time. Chief,
Uh,
are you still there?
Gunnar, there was a long sort of pause in between. I couldn't hear what you were saying. If you can please read.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so then I said in this year, at the end of the year, there's so many people who are now figuring out what else they can plan in the business or further personal development. And I think planning is a good time now to become known as a go-to authority in 25. So I know you have a program for this one. So what are you actually doing? How you help them?
Yeah, I do see a lot of CXOs taking time to plan their next year, and I'm getting some of them reaching out. So I basically have a clarity call where I understand their need, their objective to build an authority brand. And from there, I try to create a strategy and a roadmap for them to reach. It could be one or more of writing on LinkedIn, writing a book, and also coming out with a newsletter or thought leadership articles. I of course see that book almost is an instant authority as you have experienced as well. But then book alone probably does not do great because it needs marketing efforts as well, for which LinkedIn is a very, very fertile and excellent platform. So yeah, I have a call, understand their needs, come out with a
Mhm.
specific strategy, and then based on that, if you want to go ahead and we work together.
Wonderful. Yeah, so that's good. And thank you for also sharing the QR code. I will share this in with the email that goes out together with the slides. I like that. So that's a good one because that helps. And that's exactly the journey I went through myself and which someone who can. And that's what I did in that back then. So I had to figure out a lot by myself, even the whole self-publishing area. So there's one last slide from my side for the closing part to it. And now let me reveal one thing. So Justin, sorry, was not the closing slide, was the one before. Justin, are you still there? So there's a funny thing I need to say. So there is a book that I showed at the beginning in my intro slide called Connect and Act. That is my LinkedIn related book for small businesses. So that I published last year in May. It was my birthday, and two of you from the call today have been there as well. Thank you for coming. So I wanted to write a book called LinkedIn for Startups and put it out in February. In November. Didn't work. I'm now targeting a February release. Beyond that, I also started years ago to write shorter pieces that would fit into this authority level, particularly when I gave master classes with leaderships with the Institute of Managers and Leaders here in Sydney. And from there, I compiled them together. And then I thought being invited at an author showcase event with Jane Turner, a local book marketing coach in Sydney. It was about 2.5 weeks ago. And I thought I showcased this book. I call it a bottomless bundle because it is this book, Lead Not Manage. It is Connect and Act, both together. And whenever somebody buys this and there are updates to it, they're in the same type of link behind. You can download it as PDF and as an EPUB for the ebook reader. So that I call it bottomless book bundle. And the funny thing about it, I had the feeling I was missing a story. And I wrote this story 2 weeks ago, just before I got ready. And that story plays in Sydney at a young startup software company about ESG, that stands for environment, social, and governance. So especially software for companies. One of the first target clients is a historic hotel. I work in one. Talking about the topic of ESG, which I represent in the hotel board, okay? And I placed the protagonist as one who went through leadership challenges because of different type of people there. I placed it as a younger, good man, and I called him Justin because I have a mate called Justin, and that Justin is now here in the call. Thank you, Justin, for attending today. So when I thought about who would it be, I thought you would be the right one. And like every book that's written, there's no similarities with any character or real life person, obviously not. But thank you for finding out that the chief product officer and the co-founder of that company is that one. It's called Justin, and the book, the story ends with pitch night at one of the most glamorous pitch places in Sydney called Fishburners. And I think, Tom, you're on the call as well today. When you and I met in October at Open Coffee Sydney, it was actually at Fishburners when we had the CEO there who also confirmed to write a page for my next book, LinkedIn for Startups. Anyway, that all comes into this one, into my book, which is now called Lead Not Manage. Yeah, Tom, thank you for confirming. And this came out just now. It sits on Amazon. It hopefully arrives at paperback soon. But I like the idea of a bottomless book bundle. So that's there we have it, Lead Not Manage book. So that's what I've done. And thanks, Chief, for your contribution on the authority level, because it shows me that it's possible to be perceived not just as a thought leader, because they can think, or to not even only like a subject matter expert. But they are doing the work, but into an authority, and that is where the whole story comes together. So that's what we prepared for today, nearly hitting about the full hour. Thank you for this one. Are there any questions at this stage from anyone in the audience? No from anyone? Anyone in the chat? My MacBook says, can I please present next time when it's not that hot? Because the machine is burning hot. Yeah, that sometimes happens. So the next webinar, most likely again on the second Monday, will be in January, second Monday. Again, so Ravi, you raised your hand, please go ahead.
Yes. Hi. Thank you very much for this excellent presentation. Very informative slides. I just, wanted to share a short, event that happened to me on LinkedIn close to your topic, and maybe get you experts to comment on it, right? I'm just coming from a point of view of complete curiosity. I left a comment on a post. It was a, medium level influencer, and I go to his posts every day. And I left a comment, and then someone else left a comment, and I commented that you should write a book on this topic, right? My comment was, this is such an excellent comment, and you should write a book on this particular topic. And it would be fantastic, right? You seem to know a lot about it. Okay, the next day I'm back, same influencer, I'm writing my comment. This guy said, hey, you know what? You told me to write a book yesterday. It's up on Amazon for sale. This is the link. Please do check it out. 24 hours. I am not joking. I fell off my chair because I went to Amazon, I clicked $7.99, and it was the first day of the book. You can see that, published and everything, right? I go to his profile and I check he's an AI expert. Now I read the first 2 pages of the book. They're fantastic. I feel like buying the book. All right. So but I didn't buy the book. But I'm just saying there is disruption happening right under our faces over here. And I just wanted your comments on that. It's a bit scary. It's going to happen everywhere. This happened to me just 10 days ago, very recent. So it's fresh in my mind. So I just thought I'd share it and, see what you guys have to say about that.
Shiv, what you would like to comment on that one?
Yeah, true, definitely. Yeah, AI has made it easy, almost effortless to write a book nowadays. But here is my thought. You can write a book as a collection of words pretty easily, pretty quickly. But especially we are talking about nonfiction. I'm not talking about fiction, right? But it has to be backed up by your ability to get results. See, the kind of book that we are looking at are nonfiction, and the books are sort of a representation of you. And you write the book not as an end goal, but as a means to get to your end goal, which is, okay, a book makes an author and authority, right? A book projects you as an authority in your field. But somebody who has bought the book, when they come to you, can you get them results? That is where the authenticity of a book comes. You can use, even Amazon asks you, have you used AI to write a book when you publish your book and upload the manuscript? But if you say yes, it doesn't stop you from publishing. Because not everybody is a great orator. Not every expert is a great writer. But that shouldn't stop them from sharing their knowledge in a way that makes it easy to understand and implement. You can take assistance from technology, definitely, but you need to have the ability to back up the results that your book promises when people reach out to you to get them.
Thank you, Shiv. And there's a funny thing. Somebody said ChatGPT was new. You can write a book in 24 hours. So I think a month after my book Connect and Act came out, and please, that was 120 hours regarding the book, 160 pages, 42,000 words. So it is, and it was based on 250, in the meantime, 316 weeks of weekly posting with a lot of proof. But then this other book where I thought, is it possible to write within 24 hours? I managed to do this. The only thing, and you can read this ChatGPT, in the meantime it gets a bit better, but still, ChatGPT has a tendency to summarize something at the end of a paragraph, the end of a page, the end of a chapter, and it is grabs content from somewhere. So there is no proof in the pudding on it. So, and therefore, just for the fun playing around this, and yes, I even got an Amazon bestseller status for that, but I couldn't put it out under my own name. Makes no sense. And there are so many. By the way, how you recognize when AI wrote a book in Amazon. Very easy. Just check the hundreds of, or at least dozens of reviews, where the first reviews are all awesome, because they're written by ChatGPT as well. And then it starts to, after 5 stars, getting only 1 or 2 stars, where then actually humans started to read it and realize that's nothing. Yeah, anyway. So I prefer a real authenticity, real book based on expertise that turns into authority. Much better. Thank you, Ravi, for the question. And Tom for the add-on. Good one. Thank you, everyone. No further question. I'm happy to close this session. Thank you for attending, particularly also to those who come every time, like or nearly every time, like not even this year, like Colin, some who came first time, and really appreciate. And I will share the recording afterwards and you get everything next morning. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Gunnar, for
Gunnar.
having me. Thank you, everyone, for attending it.
See you next week.
Bye.